why don't we pack up our gear and check out a few campsites. Training camp still going on. The Cowboys and Saints have each been fined $500K by the NFL for multiple fights that broke out during Tuesday's joint practice. And Jerry Jones said the team's going to fine the individual players that were involved as well, as it's up to the team to decide how that fine is paid. Jerry was asked about second-year linebacker Donovan Azaraku, who was ejected for the second time in camp.
Well, I think that you have to have consequences, and that needs to register. In other words, we all know, whether you're playing a game or out here in society, if you aren't sensitive about the consequences of your behavior, then you'll get brought to your knees pretty quick.
If Azaraku does that during a game, he's fined, but apparently his owner of the team is going to fine him too. What's your reaction to that as our resident Cowboy?
I'm a little mixed on that. We talked about training camp earlier, the dog days of it, the physical, the mentality, the competitiveness. And I get what Jerry's getting at. I understand, like, if it affect the team, I get that. But a fine in training camp from your own team, to me, feels a bit extreme for a fight. And fights have been happening in training camp for years. And now you want to find, I don't agree with that. But the $500K will change your mind about it.
You know what it is? It's the optics of what we just saw, because I love a good scuffle. I don't mind a little fight. Yeah. I don't mind a little pushing and shoving. I don't mind a little, punch, push to the helmet. That happens all the time. But you got guys suplexing people, tackling people, squaring up like you're going to fight somebody. That part's embarrassing. Right. That part needs to get fined and get out. You can scuffle. Emotions should be high. It should be intense. But there's a line that I think is crossed at times, and we saw that right there, and that's why the fines.
Yeah, this was a little much. The body slamming was a little much. Yeah, it was a little much. But no, these things happen. Jackson Dart, there were fights in the Giants-Dolphins joint practice. Jackson Dart said, we like it because we're trying to establish an identity. So sometimes if you're on the upswing, a team like the Giants, a team like the Saints trying to prove who you are, tempers are going to flare. A team like the Cowboys with a lot of veterans who are more established, they're probably going to take it a little bit easier. But I think this is just the nature of joint practice. You're going to have this sometimes. The fine, especially with players, is a lot.
A $500K fine is extreme.
Yes.
Is that what they're saying they're going to do?
That's what the teams are going to have to incur.
It's not individual players. Find the guys throwing punches because of how silly that is. Right? At the end of the day, you get yourself hurt and put your team in a bad position. Everybody else, you don't want to be caught on film not scuffling when the fight breaks out. I think that's the other side of this is they're telling you to be intense, and guys are responding to that request.
Well, if it hits the players in their pockets, that might be the one way to stop fights.
Some of them don't have no pockets.
Very fair.
I agree with that.
And it's usually those ones that are fighting
that don't have.
Because they're pushing the envelope in practice.
They're trying to figure out how to make a team.
Very fair. Fair point. All right. So speaking of sites, Vikings quarterback Kyler Murray a little bit on the smaller side at 5'10".
Whoa.
And his head coach Kevin O'Connell revealed that might actually affect the way he sees what's in front of him.
He couldn't see on a play, and he didn't want to tell me that, so he prefaced it with, I know I'm not allowed to say this, but, and we both got a laugh out of it.
Myron, you got any issue with what Kevin O'Connell revealed there about Kyler Murray not being able to see over his offensive line?
I need to start a PR crisis firm for NFL coaches and just tell them, here's the thing you cannot say in this situation. You cannot say that your 5'10" quarterback can't see over the line. Maybe it's true. Maybe everybody in training camp knows it. Maybe Kyler Murray is telling all his teammates he can't see. You cannot tell the public that that's the situation with Kyler Murray. Kevin O'Connell's too smart for that. He sees it. He's a veteran. Everything's going to be about Kyler Murray's durability, his size. Say anything but that. Your quarterback cannot see over the offensive line because it's only going to encourage the narrative about whether or not Kyler Murray's the guy, whether or not he's big enough in an era full of giant quarterbacks. Come to my PR crisis firm, Kevin O'Connell, and I'll tell you what not to say in these moments.
All right, so first of all, Kevin O'Connell might be the tallest quarterback in football, or the coach of football. So this is a little bit of a flex by him. He's like 6'5", he's humongous. So obviously there's going to be a height disparity with his quarterback and the way he sees things. Having said that, it's true, Myron. Kyler Murray's short. He knows it. He knows he plays with his limitations. I don't hate this because it shows you that they know what the offense is. Kyler's not going to throw a ton over the middle. They're not going to try to throw, in situations where you would need height. They understand their limitations. Nobody's in the dark about this. I'm good with it. Honesty is always the best policy.
Can I tell you something that may surprise people? Every quarterback makes throws every single game that they cannot see. And I don't care how tall you are. If you're 6'2", How big's the average O lineman?
6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
His center's 6'7".
Yeah, you're looking into helmets and into backs all the time. And because of practice and because of muscle memory, you know how and where to throw the ball on certain timing concepts. That's just a reality. Now, him, yeah, there's probably a few more throws for him, but it is common for every quarterback that's not 6'7". Just happens.
Myron, I get what you're saying, but I like this. I like the relationship building portion.
Yeah.
The little hinted laugh. I'm big on communication. Like, and sometimes this to me was about Kevin O'Connell and Kyler Murray's relationship and the things that he's trying to build going forward. Hell, we know Kyler Murray can't see over the offensive line.
But he's like, you don't have to keep that from me. Like, you're my guy.
Exactly.
You tell me how I can help you.
And I'm going to disseminate that in the media, and I'm going to have a chuckle about it instead of saying, well, it's a concern and we're going to have to move the pocket and do all of that. Kyler Murray is 5'10". He's been short his whole football career, right? And coaches know that we have to acquiesce and work around that. But I think that was more about his relationship with his starting quarterback.
And what he brought this up, the reason he brought it up is because they were talking about Drew Brees and what he said in his Hall of Fame speech about being on the shorter end, struggling at times to see over your offensive line. And Kyler said, I didn't want to admit this, but in the game against the Giants, I couldn't really see over my offensive line. So private conversation that becomes public, which is, it's fine. It shows you that.
But it shows the confidence and the comfortability
in
between
head coach. Yes,
And
they're on the same.
like, you ain't revealing something we don't know.
That's family. Leave some stuff in the group text. That's all I'm saying.
I got you.
Okay, our last campsite takes us to Foxborough, where former teammates A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts were all smiles as they reunited. We caught up with them on the second day of Eagles-Patriots joint practices, and we can't hear what they were saying with this interaction, but let's have some fun here. Jordan, what do you think they were saying to each other?
Yeah, you look good, man. Hey, did you get that text I sent you? No, I didn't see it, man. Oh, I changed my number. Oh, that's why. You know, it just... Come on, it's kumbaya.
What do you
At
think?
this point, who cares, right? They didn't have a great relationship. It doesn't matter. They don't have to be the best of friends, but they have history together. You can have a laugh and move on.
Man, it's like being friends until you become roommates. We better friends if we don't live together.
Yeah, great point.
That's probably what happened. You remember, I don't know if y'all remember the call when AJ got traded to Philly. It was him and Jalen Hurts on the phone looking like it was a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not the case. You get a dude in the building. I got family members. I got 3-day threshold. We have the best time, but you got to go home.
That's it.
After that, because it's going to start weighing on
Yeah.
you. That, like the things you do, the way you live, and all that start weighing on me. So for 72 hours, we are the best. We look like the closest knit family ever. And I think some of this too is I know AJ and I know Jalen well, and both of these guys are very mature young men, and they understand